Neo-Hollywood. The Berserker era of film.
Hey Berserker, welcome to the Melania documentary Controversy Explained. Johnny Greenwood, Phantom Thread, and Music Rights. He dressed like a first lady because this is a state of emergency for filmmakers. In Legacy Hollywood, the myth is if the artist doesn't approve,
here we go again.
It can't happen. Let's talk about why a music supervisor can clear a cue and still trigger chaos. Welcome to Neo Hollywood. I am Queen Berserker Krista Grady Saxon. And don't worry, I'm not complimenting myself too much with that title. I had gone through hell and high water, going through the distribution process as a film owner. That's how I earned the name Queen Berserker. In Neo Hollywood, the reality is, if the contract allows it, it happens.
We got a peacemaker and the fire.
Today I'm going to teach you that difference using a headline that's trending right now. The documentary Melania used a piece of music from Phantom Thread. Composer and Radiohead's Johnny Greenwood and director Paul Thomas Anderson asked for it to be removed. And everyone online is asking the wrong question. How did they miss it? The right question is, who had the legal power to say yes? What's the actual controversy? Here are the play mechanics. Greenwood does not own the copyright in the score. Universal controls it, and Greenwood's lawyers say Universal failed to consult him on this third-party use, which they claim breaches his composer agreement. That means two things can be true at the same time. One, the documentary team can be legally licensed. Two, the composer can still have a contractual complaint upstream. You can be cleared and still be standing on somebody else's broken promise. Here's the twist. The documentary can be legally licensed and the composer can still be right because copyright ownership and contract rights are different layers. If the studio controls the rights, they can license it. But if the composer agreement requires consultation and that didn't happen, the dispute is upstream. Neo Hollywood is full of these both are true moments because the industry is not built on feelings. It's built on rights. Neo Hollywood versus Legacy Hollywood. Legacy Hollywood trained creators to worship access, to believe credit equals control, to believe being in the room equals safety. Neo Hollywood is different. Streaming is the shelf, not the plan. Distribution is the pathway, not the power. Ownership is the power. And this is why this story matters to you, even if you don't care about the film, because it reveals how control actually works. Control isn't the loudest person in the room. Control is whoever holds the rights on paper. Why this can happen even with a great music supervisor. This is where filmmakers get it twisted. A music supervisor's job is not to read minds. Their job is to clear rights. And rights ownership is not moral approval. Clearance is a legal transaction, not a vibe check. So here's how a good supervisor can still be involved in a mess. 1. The supervisor clears a license with the rights holder. 2. The license is valid in the public-facing sense. 3. But the rights holder had private obligations to the composer, like consultation or approval inside the composer agreement. And finally, those private obligations don't always show up in the outward licensing process. So the supervisor can do the job correctly, and you still get chaos. That's why I teach you this as a chain of title lesson in designer sunglasses. The public thinks it's a supervisor mistake. The system is ownership plus contract terms. So what happens to Melania now that it's in theaters? Now, the practical question is what happens next? When a film is already in theaters, there are usually 3 real options. Option A, replace the cue. They swap the music, update the mix, and push a revised cut for future screenings and streaming. Option B, negotiate behind the scenes. Universal and the artists may settle the dispute privately and decide whether a change is needed. Option C, the film stays the same unless forced. If the license is valid, the film can continue as is until a rights holder reverses course or a legal action completes change. And here's the deeper Neo Hollywood point. When a release is live, time becomes a weapon. The more public, the more expensive. The more pressure, the less flexibility. This is why you build your paperwork before your world sees your film, the Filmmaker Berserk prep. So what does Filmmaker Berserk do with this? We prepare you for the real world where rights are split across entities, contracts contradict each other, and distributors monetize confusion. Our system trains you to 1. Centralize ownership into one production entity, 2. Align every agreement to the same scope, term, territory, media, and exploitation intent. 3, build delivery readiness, cue sheets, licenses, chain of title, E&O, readiness, and documentation that survives due diligence. Because in neo-Hollywood, the deal doesn't reward effort. It rewards proof. And proof is paperwork that matches reality. So don't watch this story like celebrity drama.
Hi, Mr. President. Congratulations.
Watch it like a blueprint.
Did you watch it?
I did not. Yeah, I will see it on the news.
Permission is paperwork. If you don't own it, you don't control it. And if you don't control it, someone else does. Welcome to Neo Hollywood.